I'm so glad you're here for another episode of Mechanism Monday, where every Monday we write out the electron-pushing arrow mechanisms for different organic reactions. In last week's video, I asked if you could solve the mechanism for this chemical transformation, so if you haven't had a chance, pause the video now and try it independently. And make sure you stick around to the end because I'll give you another mechanism to solve for next week's video. One of the most significant challenges in all of organic chemistry is the stereoselective synthesis of olefins, or what are known as alkenes. And one of the most reliable methods for setting a stereocenter of an olefin or an allylic group is going to be known as the Othoester Claisen rearrangement. And in 1970, W.S. Johnson used this approach in the synthesis of squalene by using in what's known as an orthoester. And this mechanism begins by protonating the other starting material. So if we introduce an acid, which I'll just write as H+, then as is common the case anytime you have an ether, is that you can protonate it using the oxygen lone pair of electrons. And just like in other examples where you've seen this type of mechanism before, what that effectively does is it makes that group an effective leaving group. So by protonating that oxygen, we are making it an effective leaving group, because what can happen is that now that this oxygen is positively charged, one of the neighboring oxygens can have its lone pair of electrons collapse down to kick off ethanol as a leaving group. And this is important because what ends up happening is it generates a carbon to oxygen double bond where the oxygen is going to be positively charged. And this is useful because what this has done, just like protonating carbonyl species, is effectively turbocharge the electrophilicity at this carbon position, which means that even weak nucleophiles like an alcohol can come and attack that position, which will kick up the pi electrons to oxygen. And after generating this tetrahedral intermediate, this can undergo a sequence of proton transfers until we've now generated another good leaving group in the form of ethanol, where the oxygen's electrons can collapse down to form a carbon to oxygen double bond and kick off ethanol as a leaving group. Subsequently, a base can be used to deprotonate the methyl group, which will kick over the pi electrons to oxygen to make it neutral. And that gets us to this next product, and I really want you to take a look at this structure and see if you can visualize it in 3 dimensions. Now, to really understand the stereoselectivity that gives us our final product, we should take a deeper look at this product in particular, or this intermediate. Another way to visualize this molecule is by looking at it in this conformation. And from here, we can see what happens next, which is in fact a 3-3 sigmatropic rearrangement. So if these pi electrons shift down to come and attack this carbon position, this will kick over these pi electrons to being located here. And subsequently, this will necessitate the release of this oxygen. So this will end up giving us a product that results in a 3-3 sigmatropic rearrangement, because these electrons actually come over and make a carbon to oxygen double bond, which is going to be stronger and more favored, which is why this reaction is driving in the forwards direction. So then if we redraw this intermediate that's formed after this rearrangement, hopefully you can see what this is beginning to shape up to look like. So now we have that carbon to carbon double bond located here. This carbon bond is now a single carbon to carbon bond. We now have a double bond instead formed between the carbon to oxygen instead, and here is where we have the methyl group coming off of this position, and then now we have closed this side of the ring, and then what ends up happening is now we have this carbon to oxygen double bond. And then our ethyl group, just like it is in our final product, or our ethoxy group, is pointing downwards like this. And that's how that rearrangement occurs, where previously it looked like we were just shifting over this position from one to the product. Because it turns out that this structure is exactly our final product. And sometimes it's important in organic chemistry when solving complicated mechanisms to really evaluate what the 3-dimensional structure looks like to help elucidate what the mechanism is. If you enjoyed this week's mechanism, give it a thumbs up down below. And for next week, I'd love to see if you could figure out the electron-pushing arrow mechanism for this organic reaction. Drop your thoughts as a comment down below, and make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out. I'll see you next week.